All right, welcome back, everybody. We're very lucky today to have some of the team from Agents of Influence, which is a business that's just been launched, I think, Monday. So very, very new. It's an amazing concept, and when I heard about it, got very excited about what these guys are up to and what they're doing in this space. And I'll let them talk to you more about what it's all about. But it's very exciting, and I'm sure everyone who's watching is going to get right behind it as well. So, guys, over to you. Tell us who you are, what you're about, and tell us more about this business.
Hey, my name's Danna. I started in travel 11 years ago with Flight Centre. I was with them for about 7 years before starting my own agency in partnership with Travel Managers, which has been a little over 4 now. I travel full time. I have for the last 4 years, except for 2020 because COVID. And I also have a blog called Wild Hearted World. So I've been running that for about 3 years. So Travel Managers, Wild Hearted World, traveling full time, living, breathing, travel, creating content, and connecting with brands and community.
Awesome.
Hey, I'm Jake. I've been in the industry for about 14 years. I did 11 years at STA Travel, and then had kids, had to work from home. So went independent, haven't really looked back. It's pretty amazing. You can make your own rules. I travel whenever I can. I travel a lot, actually. Love creating content and using my social media basically to sell. That's how I'm getting my clients these days. So,
Awesome. My name's Jeremy. Everyone just calls me Jez. I've got a confession that I'm not actually a travel agent. I have to tell that straight off the bat, but love travel agents. I booked my first ever around the world trip with an STA travel agent. I'll never forget it. Now, I'm actually a journalist and a photographer by trade, so a natural content creator. It's what I love to do. I love to tell stories. That's what I studied at university. But I spent, I guess, most of my working career in brand and content marketing. After leaving Australia, traveling for a long time, I landed in marketing and social media agencies for nearly a decade, until about 3 or 4 years ago, where I got fed up with the corporate world and wanted to work for myself, and I went out and freelanced. And obviously travel has always been a passion of mine, and I just picked up my camera again and started taking photos, started writing again, and started pitching stories to magazines and newspapers, and one commission led to another commission, and before I knew it, I was traveling the world and just doing what I love, which is telling travel stories and inspiring people to go places. But also I've been able to supplement that income with some commercial and social media work, which is I guess what a lot of people do these days. And so I guess moving into what the Agents of Influence is, or the concept itself, it was sort of born at the height of the pandemic. It was a pretty dire time for people like myself, everyone in the travel industry has been affected. I had about 5 forward bookings that were all cancelled overnight, representing quite a bit of income, and even stories and income that I haven't been able to recoup since, that has been affected by the pandemic. So the AOI was born out of I guess chaos and uncertainty, and as well a couple of agents who came to me, who I'd met previously, looking for a way to supplement their income with their social and content skills. And that's something that obviously I was making money with prior to COVID, because we all know that JobKeeper is great, but it's really only a band-aid at the moment. So it was really great to have these agents come to me looking at ways to supplement their income, because they knew that things were going to be really bad, especially people like Jake and Danna who work for themselves. And so I guess I met all these agents on a US famil I did last year that was organised by Matt Leadham at Carry On. It was a competition that a lot of a group of these agents entered into to head over to California to create some content to put on their own social media channels. And I guess as a content marketer and creator myself, as they were coming to me in the crazy times of COVID, it just got me thinking about their incredible ability and their passion to tell great stories. And that's what travel really is. That's what we do as travel marketers is to be able to tell great travel stories in order to connect with consumers. But also to work out a way how they could also be paid for telling their stories, because that's how I've made a living over the last 3 or 4 years. Admittedly, not through a destination, but through magazines, newspapers, online, etc. So I thought perhaps I could use my knowledge in creating content, but also my background in social media amplification to help them use whatever content that they are capable of creating in order to drive sales. And I guess in a post-pandemic travel world for all of us, and especially if you're a marketer watching this, whether you're from a tourism company, a hotel group, or a DMC or whatever, you're probably thinking, well, look, I've got a bucket of money now that I've got to go direct to consumer, and then I've got a bucket of money that goes to trade. And essentially the AOI is a solution, a collective, whereby we can merge those two buckets together, where agents can become your content creators and deliver you content that you can use to sell products to consumers. But at the same time, if you're looking to connect with influential, like-minded agents who are going to use that content to sell a product, the AOI is there to deliver a measurable result. And I think that's the most important thing after a pandemic, because we're not going to have as much money as we used to. And that's essentially the genesis of the business, is to use content and allow these agents to make a bit of money from their amazing, incredible content skills, but at the same time also provide a return on investment for any marketing spend that a destination or a business wants to invest. And
what maybe give us an example of what that could look like, maybe using Danna or Jake as an example of, an actual, how that would work with a you could use a made up company or one if you want to highlight them. What would you do for them? How would these guys do it? And what could the outcome be? What are we talking, numbers and followers and all the, the nitty gritty? Give us an example.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's, I guess there's never a one size fits all solution for a marketing campaign or a project, but let's take, for example, your standard agent famil that might be organized to, the Whit Sundays as it starts to open up, for example. The Whit Sundays is probably looking for your real high value, customer with kids who's going to go up there and want a holiday. But also, they've got to be creative about the way that they market to those people, and social media, Facebook and Instagram is going to be a powerful way to inspire people to feel comfortable about traveling again. So let's say, for example, we have a famil, they want to get a group of agents to get up there and experience a bunch of products about what's safe in a post-pandemic world, what it looks like up in Airlie Beach or Daydream Island or whatever. We, as a collective, would come together, develop up a range of itineraries across a budget, a mid-range, a luxury itinerary, and then we would travel to a place like the Whit Sundays. Not myself, the selected group of agents that fit the marketing needs of that destination or that hotel group. Their job would be to create content on the ground every day, right? Based on not necessarily the prescriptive budget, mid-range or luxury itinerary. And then their job would be to come back, curate that content, put it into a package that makes sense for their customers and for Tourism Whit Sundays customers, and then sell that through their own networks. So, and when I say sell that through their own networks, a lot of agents probably think, well, yeah, great, I already do that. I've got a Facebook page, I've got an Instagram page, I can do that. But the way that social media, paid social media marketing has evolved is that if you're set up as a business on Instagram or Facebook, really, Facebook knows that you're a business, and unfortunately, it's a pay-to-play market now. It's not doesn't need to be a huge amount of money, but it really is a pay-to-play market. And anyone that's sort of dabbled in Facebook Business Manager to create offers and targeted lead generation campaigns knows that it's quite a complex thing, and you can end up throwing a lot of money away if you're not doing it correctly. So really, we would take that content and work with a destination or a hotel group or or really anyone that wants to get ROI, and then we would disseminate that through the agents' networks. And what we can do with agents is that they not only have great organic reach, they also have, in many cases for the independents, massive databases and emails of customers that we can then take those audiences and create lookalike audiences through Facebook and Instagram, and continue to really amplify that rich content, that authentic content, to generate leads for their businesses. So not only are the agents, hopefully, in an ideal world, going to be paid for their amazing content, they'll also generate leads and commission for their businesses.
And for you guys, Danna and Jake, how do you see that working for you? Considering what you're already doing, but sort of moving forward, creating a bit more of a collective structure approach to that. What does that look like for you guys?
Did you want to take that, Jake?
You can go.
As Jeff said, it goes hand in hand for agents. Well, it's just another opportunity for us, really. Like whenever I get accepted to go on a famil, the first thing I do is I start researching what content I can get there, because that is going to give me months worth of content when I come back. So I've got stuff for Facebook, stuff for Instagram, stuff to send clients. A lot of people are now starting to put together like video presentations for clients. So there is like a multitude of different ways that you can utilize that to your advantage.
And what about you, Jake?
I agree. It's that whole kind of, because you go as well, do you know what I mean? So you're kind of gaining the trust of the customers as well, because they're seeing that you've experienced it. You're not just selling something you've never been to or done. But yeah, and I think back to what Jez said, it's that kind of post-pandemic world. The consumer's going to want to see that.
Yeah, and that's another great point. You're actually, you are engaging your clients along the way on that process, because you're doing Instagram stories. They're getting to, ask questions. Someone might have had that destination in mind and they're like, hey, can you check out that hotel for me?
Yeah.
They can take photos in the room. Like they can, like they're commenting and engaging and just, they're really invested in that destination.
And I think, obviously because you guys are experts at playing in that space, the way I picture it is if I was a customer that was, maybe a little bit nervous or didn't have the full confidence of jumping on that plane or going to that destination, seeing an agent that I trust and I follow and I have a relationship with, and if you could, Insta story your experience through check-in, for instance, and getting on a plane and look at me where I'm seated and look at this is how, sanitary it is and the health security side of it. And look at me at the hotel and I've checked in and it's a contactless check-in. And, when I'm at the pool, there's the space between the sun lounges, all of those things that really in the I guess, the short term is probably stuff that people are going to be really concerned about. And look, agents, and we're encouraging agents on our platform and through the group and through the website to really spend a lot of time in that sort of self-directed learning space and getting their head around all of those updated policies and the updated health and security policies of the products and suppliers that they want to be selling. But, actually being able to experience it firsthand and then relay that back to that customer, that just amplifies the confidence in my opinion. And I'd love to see, as many agents as possible, being some of the first, the first movers into the travel space as quickly as we can, because we see an agent doing it and they can relay that story back, then they're going to be able to, pass that on to so many, not every supplier or tour company or cruise line or airline is going to be full, in the early few months of these borders opening and these bubbles opening, what better way for suppliers and products to start to see people feeling confident in that product or that supplier or that destination than seeing a travel agent. For all the tough shit that agents have gone through over the last few months, how nice would it be, for that, trust to be put back in those guys to help rebuild the other side, not just wait to sit there and start booking the people, but actually get out there in the front foot, and be part of the revamping industry. The agents are the most resilient travel agents travelers getting around. They've all done it. They've been there. They've been in hostels, backpacks, 5-star, luxury, small, big, everything in between. And I know myself, I'm ready to go as soon as they let me, and I'm sure my friends or people that know me who may be a little bit anxious, if they see me traveling and see me showing confidence in destinations and products and suppliers, they may be, more likely to leave the house, as well as such. So I think it's a great concept from that side of things, and the way that you guys can then actually target campaigns and marketing and really amplify it through the social media channels. I think it's going to be a huge benefit to the whole industry.
Yeah, and I think obviously you've just riffed on the travel agent side, how agents need to become really just the educators and the storytellers and the destination experts. Like we're trying to, was my concept and why I see this is a possible working concept for agents is because they already are advocates for certain places and places that they love to go. We're just turbocharging that, especially for someone who loves Margaret River, for example. There's an agent that we're working with over in Perth that is like a Margaret River expert. And now we're just really turbocharging her role in that area. And I think that doing something like that is super powerful because she knows everything about Margaret River. But the flip side from a brand perspective, if you're a brand marketer or a destination marketer for a tourism operator, and we were talking about this just before, is I think, and it pains me to say, that I think I'm happy to be corrected, but I think that the day of the junket is gone, in that, and I'm one of those people. I mean, when I travel, obviously I'm working and I'm taking photos and the guys will know, that I'm literally non-stop shooting or taking notes, right, when I'm working. But I think that brand marketers and destination marketers will be expecting more of us in a post-pandemic world, in that, if it doesn't deliver a return on their investment, then it shouldn't be worth their while. Great if it ticks a box and it says, yeah, awesome, we've done a Famil, awesome, we've done a Buzz Night, great. But if it's not at least measurable, even if it doesn't make a return, if it's not measurable and we don't chuck it away as a concept, then I don't think we're doing our jobs right. And I think that every dollar that goes into a marketing or brand campaign from now will be scrutinized. Certainly if I was in that role, it would be. And I think the AOI and agents who can uniquely serve an audience and a type of medium, such as the group of 16 or 20 that we've collected, are uniquely placed to be able to do that.
Yeah, I agree. And my next question was kind of, what do you guys think? And I'll put this probably to Danna and Jake as well. But what do you guys think the travel industry, is going towards? What's it going to look like on the other side? And you've probably answered it a little bit in there, Jeremy, but maybe I'll get the take from the guys as well. How does AOI and I guess the concept of AOI really, why is it so necessary, and why could it be such a big part of what that other side of the industry could look like from your opinions?
Well, I feel it's definitely going to change. And back to like what you were saying, how it's good for us to go experience and then be able to show the public what the new world is like, I guess. But like tour operators, hotels, everyone, they're going to have like health mitigations and stuff in place. And then we, the travel agents, need to know the ones that are doing it correctly, the ones that aren't. We need to know who we're going to be selling properly and stuff like that. So that's important.
There's definitely going to be two camps of people coming out of this: the people that can't wait to get out after lockdown, and the people that are so scared and don't want to travel and need people to lead the way. And I am ready to lead the way.
Yeah, but like I reckon about 99% of the conversations I've been having in the past couple of weeks, trying to make clients keep a credit versus a refund. But like, let's just use Emirates as an example. They're one of the only airlines offering a 2-year credit, and they will actually give you exactly what you've purchased now in 2 years, no matter of seasonality or fair tax difference. It's so hard to convince people that in 2 years you could travel. Like, they're literally like, yeah, but what if we can't? I'm like, don't be like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, be positive. Like, things are happening, but we need to go out there and be able to do this to show those people.
And there's no evidence to show them yet.
That's the thing,
and we as a collective, just the industry in general, agents, you guys, everybody, we can be the proof. And it's not just about necessarily getting that free trip or say, hey, look at me, I want an EDJO. I think you guys and everyone is passionate about getting this industry going again and getting people moving again. And what better than the people that we trust the most? A customer's already using a travel agent, are already trusting you guys, with their hard-earned dollars, your knowledge, your experience, to get them, to have the best travel experience they can. What we can do right now is also give them the confidence, by showing, hey, look at me, I'm here, and it's great, and it's safe. There's something here that you might have to consider, and maybe you might, just want to think about this when you do this, but it's great and it's safe, and let's get out there and experience the world again when we can. I think it's a great concept, and I think it's something that we can't wait for. It's as soon as we're ready, we need to get moving. There's no point in putting together plans for further down the track. As soon as a plane can take off and a border can be opened and a hotel can be stayed at and a tour can be completed, getting some of you guys and agents in general, on the front foot with that, I think is a real key part of the rebuild, all of this.
Yeah.
And from, I guess, the supplier side of things and the industry side of things, how you touched on it before of the concept, but how do we convince them? How do we make sure that they see this as a real opportunity and I'll do my best to convince them all as well. And I think even on some of these chats with some of these suppliers, I've kind of dropped little hints about, your bus might not be full on those first few departures. I know some people who will go on there for you, as long as it doesn't cost you any money and blah, blah, blah. But, how do we convince them that this is the way forward from that side of things?
Do you mean from an AOI perspective or just more generally?
From AOI for you guys, I mean, you guys are going to be on the forefront and going to be doing it in a really, strategic concept that's going to work for you and for your collective agents and for the business and from the marketing side of things. But I think your concept I think will, on a smaller scale and just the individual agents out there, I think, the idea of it can still be an industry-wide concept.
Well, I mean, look, to talk about again, I started off about describing how the AOI is truly a collective, right? Like it is a collective of like-minded agents, and every agent that Jake, another colleague of ours, Tess, Danna, Lena, we've all sort of put our fingers out into the industry to find the right people to be the initial core group of AOI. I think to convince people, I think you need to, one, show results, and two, you need to be innovatively about the way that you engage agents into the process. The AOI is a collective, but that's not to say that all the knowledge that the AOI has is going to stay within the AOI, right? I gave you an example about with Sundays, right? And about how that could be a concept. Another way it could work is that if you're a tour operator or a business, and you're not quite sure that it's going to be full, but you want to engage agents, maybe engage one AOI within the business, right? You know that they're content savvy and they're social savvy, but pair them up with 3 or 4 other agents who are your top sellers who perhaps aren't, and who need to transition in a post-pandemic world to become creators and hyper-targeted digital marketers, right? And that's another opportunity for a business that wants to share the collective knowledge of how we need to tell stories after COVID and fill these buses and get people to feel good about travel again. I think that's one of the roles that AOI can play. And the other is results. And it's actually providing a figure at the end of a campaign, 3 or 4 weeks after a famil, going to a brand marketer and saying, okay, well, we created these 3 bits of content for you, or these 45 photos. We can tell you that as a result of these photos, 40,000 people within your demographic went to your website and Jake made 3 sales, right? And I think that that will bring confidence back and money back into, people doing famils and people and brand marketers investing in the industry and going, yeah, well, we know that if we're spending money through these agents, ultimately it's going to trickle down into the consumer. And I think from my perspective, that's what I think. And perhaps Jake and Danna have another point.
I agree with exactly what you said, man. To me, it's an absolute no-brainer. Like, why would you not get people on board? Like, this is how the industry is going to start back up again. If you don't do that, you're going to die.
Kind of reiterating like what Jeremy was saying, like if they are sending like an AOI onto their empty bus at the beginning and we're experiencing it, we're doing exactly what Jeremy said, but we can also work with them later and like attend their product nights when we can go to product nights again, and we can like speak to agents as an agent. Do you know what I mean? Like we get what agents want, so we can.
Yeah, I see that opportunity. For both sides, as you said, you can promote to your customers and to the 40,000 people, but also you guys can also be advocates for them. If they do run a product night or a virtual product night, which is what we're seeing a lot of as well, 40 people getting on a film night Zoom, you guys joining that side of things and helping them understand, what that first-hand experience looks like. So yeah, absolutely.
It can even be more granular than that, Josh, in that we're on a famil with a group that that just decided that they'd with a bit of ScoMo's money, they'd picked up a GoPro or a new DSLR camera, but they need to know how to use it, right? Well, every AOI is a photographer, right? They're amazing photographers, and they all have their own cameras, and they know how to shoot on manual, and they know how to compose a shot, edit a shot in Photoshop, and in order to make sure that it's going to get the most engagement possible. And like right down to that granular level, that's something that I think, and that's why we've chosen the agents that we've chosen, because they're great creators. They are more than just travel agents, they're creators.
And I guess, in my head, I was just started thinking, I'm like, right, so there's 10 agents on a famil and 1 AOI. The 9 agents are all FOC because this is what we want them. Participation fees, we kind of get it, and we know,
Correct.
There's not that much money around, but we hope we get as much FOC stuff in the early stages for those famils. But if you could bring an AOI agent as well, and as part of that package of the AOI agent possibly getting some monetary, paid for what they're doing, but they're also running a program on how to set up your social media, how to take the right photos, how to take a good photo with your iPhone, how to do all those things. And that could be something that Jake and Danna could be doing as part of their contribution to the famil, not just necessarily going as an FOC, but also, not just having that one rep that's hosting the famil, are actually ramping up and, as you said, turbocharging, what could actually be the outcome from that experience.
And this might be exactly. And this might be an opportunity just to throw to Danna, who is already doing that with agents. She obviously runs and pivoting is what we've all needed to do, but this is something that Danna is magical at, and it's a service that she's already providing and a help that she's already providing, even 1 or 2 of the existing AOIs, and that's how we found them. So Danna is providing people with social media training to up their engagement and the type of content they're creating. And perhaps, Danna, maybe you can talk about sort of what you've been doing in the last 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, so I'm doing a few different things. I can coach individually one-on-one, or I actually started a pilot program in February, the worst time. We got about 2 weeks into this 1 month challenge, and then the height of COVID smashed everyone, and it, all kind of dropped off. But the feedback that I got from that was amazing. I had 170 agents sign up, and I was just taking 10 people because I wanted to run it for free. I wanted to beta test it. I wanted to see what everyone's skill level was at, like where I can help agents the most. So off the back of that, I'm now creating a couple of different ebooks. I'm doing a free ebook that I'm going to put out on how, like how agents can better set up their, Instagram and their Facebook, and then there'll be paid versions after that with training. But there's so many opportunities. Like I can think of one example going back a couple of years ago where I did a famil with Canuck Kiwi, and it was over to Utah with Visit Utah, and Canuck Kiwi manages like 5 different brands. So they had 5 different famils running. There was Alaska, Utah, Nevada, like all these different states within the US. And within those 5 famils, they created a competition between us within social media, and whichever team won, with how much reach they'd gotten off their photos, they won, a prize pack. So I was paired with 2 other awesome agents from Australia, and they were using Instagram at the time, but they didn't know like the ins and outs of hashtags and stuff like that. And me being super competitive, I was like, right, I had like our marketing plan together before we even got on that point. I emailed them. I was like, these are the hashtags you're using. This is when we're posting, like this is what's happening. And of course we won, but they've come out of it being way better at social media as well. So not only did Visit Utah win, Canuck Kiwi won, I won, our team won, travel managers won, Flight Centre won, because that's where the other agents were from, and everyone is now better for it.
It's awesome. It is exciting. And what an awesome concept. And yeah, it's great that you can share your skills and what you've learned and how your knowledge of how all that works with people. And, if that gives you an opportunity to create a business for yourself as well in that space, even better for it. How can, if agents are interested in either one, maybe connecting with you, Danna, and finding out how they can learn more about this side of things and get their own skills up into that area, or, just get in contact with you guys and find out more about, the project and the business, what's the best way they can get in touch with you?
Well, everything is on the Agents of Influence website. So you've got Meet the Agents on there, and there's information about all of us. It takes you to each agent's Instagram, so you can message them directly on there. My personal Instagram is Wild Hearted World, and that's where I do everything through that. I do have a website as well, but the easiest way would be to go to theagentsofинfluence.com, and you can find everything you need there.
.au.
Yeah, there will be. I mean, like you said, Josh, we quickly put together a website in Squarespace because that's how we needed to get proof of concept up there. But there will be bios and engagement rates of all our agents up there in the coming days. It's been a really busy week, which is great, but it's been a busy week. I guess if agents are 2 things. If agents are interested in finding out, whether how to get involved, I guess, we are certainly looking for other agents of influence to join the collective. But literally, we're a startup, and if you think you're going to join the Agents of Influence and start making more money, I must preface that you will not be, because none of us are making any money. We're looking at every agent. The other thing is that, we do have a core group of agents that we've managed to bring together in the collective, who we don't really want to dilute the opportunities, which aren't very many at the moment, to the agents that we've already brought together. The great thing is we've got a private Facebook page, which is only open to the current Agents of Influence, and that is just taking off with ideas and collaboration, and that's what we've wanted to do and what we've wanted to create. From a brand marketing perspective, if you are looking at this going, look, I've got a famil coming up, or I've got a product night coming up, or I want to get in I want to start working out how agents can be involved in the marketing conversation. I would say just reach out to us. We are still in the process of working out the commercialization model of how this looks, because there's, again, as I said, there's so many ways that and so much knowledge that these brilliant and creative agents can bring to a campaign. But reach out to us, and we're finding new ways, just like you said, Josh, one agent with 10 other non-AOIs. We're finding out all these new ways that we can start partnering with people to start delivering returns and be involved in the rebirth of the industry.
Yeah. And I think, anyone who's watching, if they're interested, it is really important that, they go in there and see what you guys are all about, and what an agent of influence looks like, follow their pages, look at their pages, if they are interested in becoming one, seeing, what that really looks like, and how, if they're, close to that stage, great, reach out and see if, there's space. But if not, then maybe they can start to think about how they can work towards getting to that level.
Yeah.
Which is
great.
Which is great.
And I think even if they don't want to be an agent of influence, like, this is really important to start leveling up your social media, to be following agents of influence and any of the agents on there, because they do such a brilliant job. So you're going to learn by association, just how to set up your own socials better, and, turn that into clients, turn it into sales.
And it's such an important thing that agents should be doing right now. If they haven't been already, we've been saying it since we started this group. Get your Facebook business page up. Make sure you've got your Instagram. Get your LinkedIn, Snapchats, TikToks, whatever it is that you feel comfortable with.
I don't think anyone feels comfortable on TikTok yet,
except for my 9-year-old daughter. She's super comfortable on it. So yeah, which is, it's good advice, and something that I think that everybody is either fully aware of, or they haven't completely admitted to themselves that they need to lift their game in that space.
Yeah.
So we'll put all the links in and everything into the post so everybody can see and reach out to you guys and find out what it's all about. But guys, this has been great for me. I think, huge amount of values come from this. It's got me thinking. I'm sure it's got plenty of people out there thinking as well. It's a great concept. It is a bit of a wheels on suitcase idea. You think, why hasn't anybody done it earlier? Which is usually the best ideas that come out of it. So, I look forward to seeing you guys grow and where you take it and how you contribute to what we're all trying to achieve, which is, get this industry kick-started again and rebuilt and, stronger and better on the other side. So, really appreciate your time and, good luck with it all.
Cool.
Was that our closeout music?
Yeah.
That was my phone. Sorry. That was actually one of the agents of influence calling me as we speak.
I think that was the Oscars music telling me to shut up, probably.
No.
But thank you guys. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to catching up, in the future and seeing how you guys go with it all.
Cool. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye.